Small, Sharp Software Tools, Exploring the CLI with Brian P. Hogan. Sometimes you have to make changes to a file that you don't own. You know that you can use sudo to elevate your privileges, but you might not always want to open the file with a visual editor. Sometimes you want to append something to a file or make changes with another text processing tool. I'm going to create a small configuration file in the var folder, but I'm going to use nano with sudo because the var folder is owned by the root user. I don't have access to modify this file myself. I'll just add a couple of lines to the file. And then I will save the file and exit the editor. We'll do the rest of the work through various CLI commands. First, let's try to add a new line to the file. Your first thought might be to use the echo command with the two arrows to use standard output redirection to save the contents to the file. Remember that two arrows appends the text to the file. But if you try that, it doesn't work. If you don't own that file or don't have access to that file, you can't modify it. So you're probably thinking you have to use sudo. But unfortunately, that fails too. The reason is that sudo is applied only to the echo command. The redirection happens after the echo command has completed. The redirection happens under your normal account. To get around this, you could use sudo to copy the file to your local directory, make the changes, and then put the file back. But let's look at a couple of shortcuts instead. If you only need to store or add text to the file you don't own, you can use the t command. The t command takes the incoming data from standard output and sends it to the screen and a file simultaneously. And you can call it with sudo, so you'll get the elevated privileges you need. The -a flag tells t to append the content. If you leave this flag off, it will overwrite the file. If you look at the file's contents now, you'll see that the new line is added at the end of the file. The other way you can work with files you don't own is to use sudo to launch a subshell and then execute the command in that subshell. Look at the file again and you'll see the new line at the end of the file. This method has the added benefit of letting you use other commands as well. For example, you can use sed to replace a line in the file. I'm going to use sed to replace my username. When I look at the file, my username's changed. So there you have it. A couple of ways to modify files that you don't own without having to open your text editor. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this, subscribe to this channel. Share and like this video if you found it useful. You can learn more about command line tools and techniques in my book, Small Sharp Software Tools, available at smallsharpsoftwaretools.com.